Okay, fine. So in the last session, we completed up to assigning the roles to user. Okay, these are the roles we assign to our current user. Now we'll go and provide the data access for those roles which are associated with the user. Okay, provide data access for user. So go to task called as data access for users. Manage data access for users and say create. Username is cloud inc, right? And select roles one by one. Okay, right? These are the roles which we added the last session. To the same roles, we have to do the data mapping. So we'll go one by one. So advanced procurement requester. We have to associate business unit to this role. Our BU name is cloud inc. Just click on add. Same process. Cloud inc. Role is so inventory manager. We'll go in the sequence, just how system is displaying. Accordingly, we'll go and do associate. So inventory manager. For inventory manager, we have to map inventory organization. Inventory organization. Our inventory organization name starts with C, right? We given see this is the inventory organization CUS cloud inc US. This is how we given the naming. This is nothing but code, organization code, whatever we enter at the time of definition. You can select. Okay, here you don't need to map any item master, not required, only the physical inventory we have to associate. Click on add. So cloud inc role. What is the next role we have here? So we already did the mapping for inventory manager. Next one is procurement manager. For procurement manager, we have to select security contest as a business unit. Select business unit. Find out our BU, cloud inc. Select. Just click on add. Username is cloud inc. So procurement preparer. Select business unit. Our BU name is cloud inc US business unit. Click on add. Username is cloud inc. Okay, select role. So we're done with the procurement manager and the preparer. Now we can select procurement requester. So associate our BU. Same user, cloud inc. So now we can select warehouse manager. Security contest is inventory organization. Our inventory organization code is CUS. Okay, cloud inc US inventory organization. Now we have one more role called as warehouse operator. warehouse operator. We have to map with inventory. Same inventory organization. Cloud US. CUS we given. And say save and close. Just click on that. Now we can go and submit the LDAP job for this role synchronization with respect to BU and inventory for the user. Go to schedule process. So LDAP.
Lakshman, have you started recording?
Sorry?
Have you started recording?
Yes, Srini? No. Why you got that doubt?
I didn't see that. Usually we see recorded sessions, so I didn't see that. So.
Okay. I started recording from beginning. Okay. Fine. So we have to wait for some time because all these roles need to be synchronized with the respective mapping. Fine. So this is a task we completed, providing data access for users for specific roles, and we submitted LDAP. So before system will complete this synchronization, we'll go and create the sub-inventory. Go to implementation project. This task is manage implementation projects. Just click on overview. Open this project. Search for the task called as inventory organization, sub-inventory. Okay, task name is manage sub-inventories and locators. Okay, we are not going to create locator. Just we'll go and create the sub-inventory which is required to record the receipt. We know, right? To create the receipt, sub-inventory is mandatory. When you are receiving the material, as a mandatory, you have to specify the sub-inventory. Reality, you may not have sub-inventory, but in the system process, that is mandatory. We'll go and create it. Okay. So task name is manage sub-inventories and locators. Click on go to task icon. We have to create the sub-inventory within our inventory organization, right? Fine. We have to select our inventory organization. Within which inventory organization we want to create the sub-inventory. So our inventory organization name is CUS, Cloud INC, inventory, US inventory organization. Right. Here see the display, they're giving the code here. Organization nothing but code only. CUS. Select, say OK, click on OK. So within this inventory organization, we want to create the sub-inventory. So inventory organization selected as a Cloud US inventory organization. Now here we can create the sub-inventory. Click on create. Just you can name it as sub-inventory 1. Okay, rest of all the information is optional. Just provide the name, that would be enough for us. Say save and close. Created, say done. Now within the Fusion applications, so we know how we create the items in EBS, right? If you have access to inventory responsibility, you can go to item master item and you can define the item. In the Fusion applications, you cannot create the item directly. So we have a concept called as item class. So basically the item class is required to create the item. So if you want to create the item in the Fusion application, you have to create the item class. With the help of item class, you will be able to create the item. What is the advantage of this item class? With the item class, you can classify the items. Based on the classification, you can specify all the controls and defaults which should be applicable for those category of the item. It's all about classification, nothing but categorizing the items and maintaining in the system. And again, that level only we can set all the privileges who can have access to this item class to create the items. After that, once you create item, when you are assigning those items to inventory organization also, we can set the permissions. We can set the security at item class level and do item association level. That will go and see it. Okay, the simple point here we have to understand, before we go and create the item within the inventory, we have to create the item class. Without item class, we cannot create the item. And again, for item management, they introduced a product called as product management hub. Okay, these item creation and item class creation, everything will do as a part of product management. Okay, product management hub, that is the application they introduced. The reality, the same application which we used in EBS as inventory, that we are not going to use. Okay, that's how we have. We'll go and see how to create the item class. We'll see how to create the item class so that we can understand what is the purpose they give it. So now we can go to project. We search for the task called as item class. So item class, item classes, you can find the task. So manage item classes. Okay, you can see within the product management, we added this. Product management is one of the application name. Okay, so in Fusion, instead of inventory application, they introduced this product management application, but this we added as a offering into our project, right? So click on this task, manage item classes, and click on go to task icon. Again, it's the same. Okay, you could see here all existing item classes. Okay, automotive and documentation and finance items, healthcare, industrial, retail, services, so software. Okay, different item classes you could see here as per a requirement within the client organization, how they want to classify the items in very broad level. Those they can define within under this item class functionality. By default, you'll get a root item class. What are the item classes you create, all will create under that. Okay, so there are few item classes which you can see here. Now we'll go and create our own item class. So before you go and create your own item class, this is a seeded one. Root item class is a seeded item class. So whatever you create, you can create under that. Select that root item class and you can just click on create. If not under root item class, in the automotive, you have a again sub item classes you want to maintain. In that case, you select automotive as a item class. Under that, you can create the new item classes. Okay, that's how you can do. So now you can select root item class. Under that, we'll create our item class. I'll say cloud inc item class. You can just give some classification name. So same name you can take as a description. System is creating the internal name as a code. Now you can say save and add details. Okay, select root item class, then click on create. and provide item class, then system will take the internal name by default by copying that information and provide description. Then click on save and add details. Just click on save and add details. Fine. Okay, so system taken all these details. This is for this item class which we are creating. The parent item class is root item class. Okay, now you can go to the tab called as item management. Go to item management tab. So here we can give all the controls and rules. So number generation. So when we are going to generate the number for item, how system has to generate, whether user has to enter manual or else we want to set automation, that you can set. And one more point, in case of VBS we have system item key flex field where you can create the item structure, but here we don't have any such kind of system item key flex field. So everything you can manage with this item class definition only. Okay, here item number generation method, you can select how system has to generate, inherit from the parent. Okay, from the parent item class, root item class level, how what default is defined, how that item number generation is set, that has to be inherited to this item class or rule generated. You can define the rule or else you can specify sequence generated or user defined. Okay, we'll go with the sequence generated so that we can set the sequence that sequence system follows. So item number generation, whenever you create the item, how you want to generate the numbering for the item. So what should be the starting number? I'll say starting number should be 1001. Fine. So 1001 we given. What should be the next number? If you create one item, system will take 1001. If you create one more item, it has to take the next number with how much increment. I'll say increment by 1. That means it will be creating the numbers like 1001, 1002, 1003. And if you want to add some prefix to that number, that you can add here, prefix and suffix. If you want to add to that number, you can add. So we'll keep the prefix as a cloud inc. Let system take cloud inc as a prefix for the item number generation. That means it will generate the number as cloud inc 1001, cloud inc 1002 for the next item. Okay, that's how system will generate. And
so what is the best practice? Do we include prefix?
see, that's all about the client interest. Normally the prefix and all, we don't go with the prefix. So ideally we'll go with the fixed number only. If they have some preference of keeping some prefix, again there won't be an issue. Since system generated, they can go with that. Okay, normally prefix, it's not that much preferable. Okay, so because it's item class level, it will get generated. For each item class you can maintain the unique numbering. You may have in your organization 10 item classes. For each item class you can have a unique numbering. Okay, unique numbering, or else you have a 10 item classes, and for 10 item classes you want to start with the 1001 only. In that case, so based on the item class, here the prefix you may give as item class, so that whenever you see that item, easily you can understand that item is belongs to which item class. For that purpose you may use. It's all about depending on how you are going to manage the items. The solution can decide whether prefix is required or not. Ideally not required. Okay, so if they think like the prefix will help them in somehow in that managing that information in the system, then they may go with the prefix, otherwise not required. Okay, they go direct straight away, they can go with the numbering. Okay, so item description, when you create the item, normally we write the description also, right, in EBS. So the same like how you want to manage that item description, that you can specify. What I'll do is I'll say user defined. Say user defined, that means whenever you are going to do it, system will allow us to write it. It's gone 1001. So prefix is cloud inc increment by 1. So item description generation method is user defined. When you are creating item, you have to write the item description. That is the meaning of it. Fine. So this is how you can give the specifications. Now you can go to security section. So here you can specify who can have access to this item, who can have, sorry, item class, who can have access to this item class. With the help of item class only you can create the item. If somebody is trying to create the item class, system will, if somebody is trying to create the item, system will verify that person. Say for example, the user A wants to create the item. If user A wants to create the item means the user A can create the item with the help of item class. If you want to allow the user A to create the item, first of all you have to provision the access to user A for this item class. Whenever they have access to the item class, with the help of this item class, the user will be able to create the item. So here you can specify who can have access to this item class to create the items, or else just to manage this item class, who can have access. Normally we'll give the access to the item class to the specific people to create the items with the help of this item class. You can just add, okay, which person can have access to this item class to create the items for which organization. Okay, so go to security, then click on add. Here you can select the, okay, principal as a person. Here if you say group, you can give the role name. So which role people can create the item, who can have access, which role people can have access to this item class to create the items. So normally what we do is we'll go with the person. Okay, so select person and select our user. That means we are going to give the access to our user Cloud INC to have access to this item class. Again, what privileges also we can set it up, we'll see that. Just select Cloud INC. Again, this Cloud INC can create the item by using this item class for which inventory organization. What happened to this? Yeah, it's picked, selected. Now you can select our inventory organization here. So this is the first one is item master and the actual. Here you can add two. Okay, so add item master and click on add and select person, type Cloud INC and tab out, it will pick. Yes, now you can add access for the same person. We are giving access to master and to physical inventory for two inventories, so actual and to virtual. So Cloud INC US inventory. Fine, done. For this item class, we given the access to this Cloud INC to create these items within this item master and to associate the same item from this item master to this actual inventory, Cloud US inventory. Okay, done. Now you can we just done with this. The rest of parameters and all not required. Templates you can see here. So in EBS case, when you are creating item, just we can select the template to default the attributes from that, right? In the same way here you could see the default template. If you want to create new template, you can create from here itself, and that would be mapped within this list only. That's how we can manage. But anyway, that is not our task. Let it be, just to understand that point. Say save and close. We created item class. Okay, we created item class and just click on done. So as a part of item class, what we did, there is a lot of information which is really required in terms of item management. but we created item class with the basic information where we given the specification, number generation, description generation, who can have access to this item class to create the items and to associate, and who can have access to this item class to create the items and to associate those items with a specific organizations. And just I think we didn't touch one point here, which is very important. 1 second, let me open that. So which is our item class, cloud inc, right? This is the one. Select our item class, cloud inc item class, click on edit. Go to security. So here we didn't give the permissions, what sort of privileges they required. So just go to our user. We'll filter. Yeah. So just we added person. Now after that, what we have to do is just I forgot this point to just do it. So after adding this person and organization, okay, for this user, what sort of privileges required, those we have to add here. Okay, for cloud inc, for cloud inventory item master organization, what sort of privileges required, those we have to add here. Click on select and add, click on search. So these are the different privileges where user can have, which are related to item. Okay, so these are the different privileges. So for what sort of actions that the user can perform on that item, all these detailed information, different attributes. So what you could do is you can select all, place cursor here, control A, system will select all, then say apply and do okay. Okay, for this user and for this inventory organization, item master inventory organization, for this item class with this combination we are giving all these privileges. Okay, simply that you can save. Now we have one more inventory organization. Okay, that we can filter now. So cloud US, CUS, right? Because these privileges are very important. Otherwise, even if you associate, it doesn't work. You cannot create the item. Fine. For this also, you have to select first this record and go to select and add all the actions, which actions this user can perform. You can associate, expand, search. So all the privileges here you can see. Just place cursor here, control A, all will get selected. Now you can say apply and do okay. Now you can say save and close, done. Under security you have to select person and inventory organization, and you have to give that access to those all actions. We have to allow that user to perform all those actions under on with on for that inventory organization and with the specific item class combination. We're done with that. So just we created sub inventory and item class definition. As a part of item class only, we give an item management information and security also. That. So the next task is create item and assign to inventory organization. Fine, we'll go and create the item. Before you go and create the item, you have to just complete these role mapping. Already we done inventory manager, warehouse operator. Already just we completed. So that we'll have access to inventory organization to create item and associate. Done. So now you can go to navigator. So within the navigator, just you can find product management section. Okay, the product management. Click on product information management. The product management or product management hub, product hub, product information management, all are same. Okay, just click on product information management task. It will take us to the page where you can create the item. So go to task list, say create item. So create item. So select item organization. So you want to create item in which item master, right? We can create only an item master, right? So this is our item master, cloud inc item master. To our item class we associated, okay, within our item class we selected this cloud CIM inventory organization, which is cloud inc item master. So that is the reason we could see only our item class here. Click on item class, you're able to see, because to this item class this item master inventory item master is mapped, and select it. Now you can find all the templates which are available within this item class. So to create the item you can select any one of the template, or else you can select more than one template also. Maybe the attributes or defaults which you required for the item, those are available from the different item class templates. In that case you can select multiple templates into selected list. So these are the different templates are available. I'll go with the purchased item template. Same way you can select other template also. Select and click here to select into this. Done. Now just click on OK. So system created item number. So here you can see this is the item number. So we given prefix should be cloud inc, then the number should be generated as 1001, but as of now it's not showing. Once the definition is done it will display. And within that item class definition time, under item management we given description is user defined. That is the reason system is asking us to enter. You can say cloud inc item, and item status you can set active. Life cycle phase, if the item is involved in the different phases of life cycle where you are going to take into manufacturing side, in that case this is required. Otherwise normal cases you can say active. Otherwise it's a design phase or in which phase all you can specify, but just right away we are creating the item, okay, as a purchased item, so you can set as active. And scroll little down, under overview you can set the unit of measurement for this item. Say each, or depending on the item it falls under each or dozens etc, you can specify. Okay, and go to specifications. In case of EBS, when you create item we'll find all different tabs: inventory tab, purchasing tab, order management tab, and invoicing tab. Different tabs, those all tabs relevant information you can find under specifications. So here we have all the specifications: item organization, manufacturing, service, inventory, okay, physical attributes, planning, purchasing, all these attributes, all these tabs you can see which will address different attributes. If I go to inventory, I could see the inventory related attributes for this item. So inventory item, yes. Stocked, yes. And check material shortage, no. And it is all you can transaction enabled, yes. Okay, reservable, yes. All these attributes are selected. How these all got selected? Because of the item template. At the time of definition, we selected template called as purchased item. Within the purchased item template, all these attributes set to yes, these attributes set to no. Same way you can verify other attributes. Purchasing related attributes, how they set. So purchased yes, purchasable yes. Okay, these are all they already set within that item template. From template, all this information is defaulting. You don't need to change anything. Now you can go to item people. Okay, so this item people is getting defaulted from the item class. Within this item class, we associated item people as a this cloud INC, right? So what you could do is you select this. So see the all the privileges system is displaying. Okay, for this user, we given all the privileges, the item class level for the same user. When they are going to manage this item, what are the privileges the user will be having, that system is displaying. Okay, we don't need to do anything here. Only the primary task here is we have to assign this item to our actual inventory. So item we are creating within the master, right? Here, cloud item master. Then the item must be, we selected also at the time of create item. First we selected item master organization only. The same system is taking here. Now the point is this item we have to assign to our actual inventory for where you can manage the stock. So now go to associations. Go to associations tab. Okay. Fine. By default, system is taking our the item organization because this item itself we are creating in the item master, right? Now this item we have to associate with our cloud INC US inventory. Just click on add, search for our inventory, physical inventory or say actual inventory. So this is the one. To this inventory organization we want to associate the item. We want to assign. Okay. Select and say apply and click on done. Here you can notice okay this item is available in this two inventory organization. This is since it's item master, yes, we are creating within that, but the same we are assigned to cloud INC US inventory organization. Same way you may assign this item to multiple inventory organizations from here itself. Click on add and you can keep select, you can associate this item to multiple. Fine. Then click on save. Click on apply. Okay, done. We're done with this. Okay, now see here, simple point. If you want to add any item related image, you can add here. Okay, manage attachments. Attachments means if you want, you can attach the image here. The image will get displayed. Say this item is computer. If this item is computer, you can just add the computer image here. So that's how whenever you come to this item, the image also will get displayed. Now you can see that item number, the cloud INC. This is what we given as prefix, and the number is the item number is 1001. So system created. Now you can click on cancel to close this definition page. Now if you want to find
Can you click on the categories? I want to see what is in the categories.
1 second. Yeah, I'll take you to that. 1 second. So we'll see that item. Go to manage items. Search for your item. So here you can search with item. Item means item number. Here description means we given description as a cloud INC item. Search. Now system will display this item is available in the two inventory organization. Yes, reality we created in the item master. Okay, item master we created. The same we associate with this cloud US inventory. The same item you could see in the two inventory organization. Now let me open that. So click on this item, you can see the item definition. Yeah, tell me like what is your question?
I was thinking about the categories,
Oh, category
item
same
categories.
as EBS. You can create the item categories and you can take this item into that respective category. Here system will take default categories. The item creation time also you can change this. Or now also you can change. If you want to remove these defaults, you can remove. You can add some new category. This item
I
falls.
was just trying. The reason I asked you that question is I was trying to correlate the item, the class
No,
with the
no,
EBS.
no.
What
Item
is
class. It's all about you can compare. If you want to compare codes, you create right. Item codes, category, item
okay?
codes. So with the codes you can map, but that doesn't have this sort of functionality. It's altogether new. You can understand to group the different items which falls under different categories also or one category. It totally depends how you want to design the solution. It's a broad level
No,
class.
I'm not. I'm not talking about the item categories. I'm talking about the item class
Class, I am talking about
with
class.
relate.
I am talking about class. It's a broad level item classification. When you talk about category, it's a very low level classification for item, right? You can with the
Yes.
category you can categorize item, but very low level. Okay. So on top of it, in the broad level, if you want to classify, you can use the item class as well as that item class has a lot many controls which you have just now seen. But category level, you cannot set that controls. For this so and so category of item, so and so person can have access. So and so item inventory organizations only. We can create the item. These all controls you cannot set, which are possible at item class level. Category concept remains same as EBS. You can create the category, and whenever you create the item, that item can falls under which category you can select. But when you are creating item, that item can be created from which classification you have to choose. Within that definition, whatever the items you create, those can belongs to one or multiple category. So low level classification is category, broad level classification with many controls and security permissions, we have a item class. That's it. That's
So
very
it's a completely new concept then.
yeah, completely new because Oracle is not using EBS inventory application for this item management and all. It's a completely product management that is separate application which they taken from other legacies, other product.
Thanks.
Completely new. Yeah, fine.
How do you make the item to be serialized versus non-serialized?
Yeah, that you can do it. That you can do that. That is separate future again. You can set up that. The serial control and all you can implement. Those are the features again within this inventory. Okay, serializing and version creation and all you can do that. The same functionalities we have. Okay, you can enable it, but for the item what we created, we didn't set all those things because we don't need it. We are not working on this. Just to understand the P2P cycle, we are going with a basic definition. That's the reason we are not including those everything. That functionality we have. You can do that. Fine. So the next task here is okay. We done with this, and we associate with the inventory. Now we done with the requisition and the purchase order, purchasing documents, approvals. Also we created rules and all right. Now directly we can go and create the requisition. Okay, we'll go and create the requisition. Fine. So before we go and do it, we'll just sign out and sign in. Okay, so now just we'll first we'll go and create the requisition. Okay, so you can just go to navigator, and here you have to go to procurement section, procurement, select task called as purchase requisitions. So first what we have to do is, so whenever you create the purchase order, sorry, whenever you create the requisition, which information system has to take as a default header information that we have to set first. Normally when you create the requisition in EBS, once you just go there, like system will be defaulting your operating net and other details. But here you have to set which information system should default all the time. Whenever you create the lines for requisition, just go to more tasks and click on enter requisition lines. Okay, just click on enter requisition lines. First time when you directly try to enter requisition lines, it will ask us to set the requisition preferences. See here, requisition preferences, it is asking reason that those are not set. Here directly you can provide that information, what is the delivery location, etc. All the details you can set. Or else if you notice here, you can, when you click on that more tasks, here also we have the same update requisition preferences. You can go and set from here. Or else if you try to create the requisition lines, if the preferences are already set, it will allow you to create the lines. Otherwise you have to set those first, then only it will allow. From here you can set, or else from here you can set. Anyone you can choose. You may set from update requisition preferences. Same window it is opening. Okay, you can specify the default deliver to location. So cloud inc, we'll see any location we have with this name. Yes. Okay, so if the requisitions which you are going to create, if those are related to projects, if you want to specify the project number, project name, number, task number, expenditure, point information, you can specify. So that's how you can do it. That all details we don't require. So just you can specify this information, that would be enough. So this is the BU system will default. So this BU is coming because of we associated this BU with the this procurement related roles, and requester is going to be this requester, the current user only. That this would be the default delivery location. If you want to change, you can change. And destination type, whatever the equation you create, the destination type, what should be the destination type, expense or inventory, that you can specify as a default. The same system will be deriving all the time. So since it's expense, no account is looking for, so you may change to say what are the equation you create, those all related to inventory related equations, item purpose, where you will place the order, and finally the destination for that equation what you get, you have to place in the inventory. In that case you can select inventory, and you can specify the default sub inventory also if you want to specify, but that is not mandatory field. We created one sub inventory that you can select. These all we are selecting so that these will get defaulted at the time of requisition creation. Okay, then say save and close. So we are setting the preferences to create the requisition. Done. Now you can go with the, so whatever the information we specify, that system will take as a header information for requisition. Now you can create one or multiple lines for requisition. Okay, you can go to enter requisition lines. Now it will allow us, directly it will open requisition line definition page. Since already we completed preferences, see here, earlier also we tried with the same function, but it was asking for those preferences since those are not ready. So now we completed that. Now it is allowing us to enter the requisition lines. Here you can create, enter one requisition line that you can add to cart. Add to cart is nothing but adding that requisition line to the requisition definition. You can create multiple lines, so you can add to cart. Here cart, the name they given, it's all about taking into requisition. Okay, Fine. For offline, this within the system process also we use this add to cart even if it is not online process. Fine, done. So line type, these are getting defaulted based on the setups which we did. We did a setup called as procurement function. There we given line type as a default as a goods. That from there it is taking. From here you can find the item. So you can select your item. So item description is cloud inc item, right? Cloud inc search, you can find the item which we created and associated with this inventory organization. Select, say okay. Okay, the quantity, how much quantity? So by default one it is taken, unit of measurement is taken from the item what we given. You can enter the price. You may just change the quantity to more than one. Fine, now it's not required, just let's go with this 10,000 quantity is one. We'll say price, unit of price is $10,000. Okay, and here you can give all these specifications. It's a negotiation required. You are raising this requisition. Okay, for this requisition negotiation is required or it's already negotiated. All these specifications you can give so that if somebody is looking into this requisition easily they can understand, okay, whether it's a negotiation or requisition or still it is pending for negotiation. All the details they can understand. And requester, system is taking the request to the current user since those we given in the preferences. And if there is any urgency of getting this material into organization, you may set this urgent to yes, so that the next one who is going to take this requisition process to next stage, they will focus on this. So getting the material as soon as possible as per this against this requisition. And suggested buyer, okay, here you can specify the buyer. So he is the requester whom you are suggesting to take care of this requisition further process, whom we are requesting to buy the material, okay, buy the items against this request. You can suggest the buyer here itself within the requisition, okay, whom you want to buy against this requisition. Like you can specify buyer specification, you can give the cloud inc itself. We created as a procurement agent, right? So you can select cloud inc as a buyer, suggested buyer. Wait, it will take. Yeah. So this buyer is procurement agent for this procurement business unit. Select it. And what are the other information we given in the preferences? It is a defaulting here. See here. Okay, deliver to location. This is what we given in the preferences. Destination type we given as inventory, and we given default sub inventory also. So that is getting defaulted. Okay. So here billing information system is taking the charge account. Reason, we completed PO tab. Okay, we completed PO tab, purchasing tab definition, right? From there, from tab only it is taking this charge account. Okay, this information is taken from there, and the quantity one, the unit price we given is 10,000, same 10,000 is taken here. So that's how just you can manage all these details here. And after that, you can just click on add to cart. That means one line we created and we are just adding to cart. The same way you can create the multiple lines. Multiple lines, all the lines you can add into the same requisition. Okay, just 1 second. Let system add this. Done. The same if you want to add one more item into this requisition, yes, same process you can follow. The same just same information you can specify. That's how it will take into that. We don't want to add one more line. One line is enough to test. Just click on that. That means we don't want to enter any lines. So now we have one requisition in the this cart. You can click on that requisition. Click on review. Submit means submitting for approval. So this is how you can see that requisition number is 1. Okay. For this requisition number, purchase order number, we have a separate tasks. If you set some value, it will take that value. Otherwise, it will take all the time from 1. Okay. For separate tasks we have. So here you can see all the details. Now if you want to verify, if you submit this, if you click on submit, means it's all about submitting the requisition for approval. But if you submit, instead of clicking on submit, if you submit, how this approvals will be routed, if you want to know, you can click on manage approvals. If you click on manage approvals, system will give the information how it is going to be routed for approval, who will be approving this requisition, the details it will show. If you are okay with that, you can click on submit. So in previous session, we just completed this approvals for requisition as auto approvals, right? For this business unit, okay, for this business unit, if any requisition is created, that has to be approved automatic. That's how we just given the rule. We'll just click on manage approval. System will show us to whom, if you click on submit, to whom it would be routed for approval, who can approve it, that it shows. Just click on manage approvals, you can understand how it would be routed if you submit for approval. Okay, so no issues here that the panel, that option, it is not showing. Basically, once you click on that here, it will show that to whom it would be approved, but in the system it is not displaying. No issues, directly you can submit for approval, it will be approved automatically as per our rule which we defined. Okay, submitted, say okay, just wait for some time, it will display. You can go to manage requisitions and find our requisition. So it's showing pending approval. Okay, we'll wait for some time, we'll turn the status to approved. The requisition number is 1, same, right? You can click on search, it will show that updated information against this requisition. It's rejected, status is rejected. We'll go and verify any chance somebody changed that approvals which we defined. Okay, we'll go to the rule definitions. Go to project. Because this is a just demo vision instance, maybe somebody disabled whatever the node we enabled. That could be the reason this is resulting rejection. Okay, we'll go and see that, no issues. This approved configurations, instance level functionality to set up, so that is the reason. Maybe some changes are done by others. We'll see that. So manage requisition approvals. Go to this task. And click on go to task icon. Yeah, somebody changed. You see here. So they disabled our node. Our node is this. So this is the one we set, right? Within this we have our rule. So that somebody disabled. They enabled this node. So you can see within this we have our rule. We'll just I'm opening. See here we have our rule. But our node itself they disabled. That is the reason it's getting rejected. So you can disable it, but not mandatory. You can keep as is, which is enabled by someone else. But make sure that you are enabling in which node you have your rule. So this is the one. Select, enable it. Now it will work. Okay, within that, what rule we defined, we'll just go through it once. So what we did, so requisition BU is equal to Cloud INC US business unit, then it has to approved automatically. This is the rule we created, right? Say save and close. Since we did these changes, you should submit for deployment. Submit, deploy. So click on done. Okay, now you can go on to resubmit that same requisition. Then it will just verify the approval process and it will get approved. Or else if you want to create one more requisition, you can create it. It will be like just practice. We'll just add one more. So simple process. We'll create one more requisition. Item is Cloud INC item. The existing requisition you can resubmit for approval. Now it will just find the process and it will get approved, or else we may create just by testing that we can create one more. So I'm here giving $5,000. I'll say it's already negotiated, and I want to suggest. Okay, I'm just keeping my preference here, whom I prefer to have as a buyer to buy these items against this purchase requisition. Cloud INC. Say okay. Then other information you can see all are coming from the preferences. Now you can say add to cart. We don't want to create any additional lines. One line is enough. You can click on done. Now we have that requisition in the cart. Click on the requisition. Click on review. Okay. Now we'll try to see here manage approvals. Just click on manage approvals. If you submit this requisition for approval, okay, how it would be routed, what approvals are enabled to support this process in the BPM. I mean to say that what are the rule we created, that it will display. Earlier it was disabled, so it was not showing. Now we could just enable, right? So here you could see application development framework application. If you see this, the meaning is it's auto approval. Otherwise, if you define the rule, it has to go to so and so people. It shows that person name here. So this is how just we created here. Whenever you click on that manage approvals, if you see this kind of approval, I mean representation as application development framework application. That means so it would be routed through auto approvals. That is a point you have to understand. You can directly submit for approval from here, or else you can come back to the same requisition and you can submit from here. Now you can submit, it would be approved automatically based on the rule which we created. So submit it, say okay. And you can go to manage requisitions. So this is the second requisition. You can give requisition number, click on search, it will get refreshed to show the status. So pending for approval, just let's wait for some time. It will turn the status into approved. Because we defined the rule as auto approval for this business unit for requisition. Done. So we're done with this. Now we'll go and create the purchase order automatically based on this requisition. We have a auto create purchase order in EBS, right? Okay, we'll see how to create the purchase order automatically based on this requisition. Okay, now you can go to purchase orders task. Now we are under purchase requisitions task. Go to purchase orders. Fine. So here system is showing requisition lines requiring action. It is showing. You can directly click on this so that whatever the requisition you create and approved, that would be, you will be able to see here, and you will be able to convert that requisition as a purchase order. From by clicking on this you can do, or else we'll go with a standard process here, navigation also what we have. So in case of EBS, we will see the function called as auto create within the navigator itself. But here you don't see as a auto create or auto create purchase order. Here the name is process requisitions. Process requisitions means convert requisitions as a purchase orders. Okay, so this is how they given the naming convention. So you don't see auto create purchase order anywhere here. It's all about process requisitions means processing requisition to next stage. Requisition next stage means purchase order. Okay, just click on process requisitions. Eligible requisitions will get displayed to convert as a purchase orders. We created one requisition approved. That requisition information system will display here. See here, system is displaying requisition number 2. The first one we created, but that we didn't approve, so that is not. It doesn't have any eligibility to convert as a PO since it's not approved. So here we have. If you want to convert this requisition as purchase order, what we have to do is the process is very simple. You have to select this requisition. Once you select this requisition, system will enable this tab, add to document builder. Just click on add to document builder tab. It will select all the requisition information into that. Now we know very well, if you want to create the purchase order, we have to include the supplier information, right? So as a part of this document builder, we'll be providing the supplier details. Without supplier, you cannot create the purchase order, right? At the time of requisition itself, you can give the supplier information, but not mandatory. That is the reason we didn't provide. Now we'll go on to provide the supplier details here. Okay, this is the requisition record. To convert this requisition as a purchase order, we have to provide the supplier details. Our supplier name is Cloud Inc. Select supplier and supplier site and say OK. Now against this requisition, system will create the purchase order. For purchase order also we set the approvals, right? That we'll see. Okay, system selected. All these are the details. Okay, based on this detail, system is going to create the purchase order. If you want to edit, if you want to change something, yes, you can do it. Just you can click on edit. So any information you want to change, you can change. Okay, so any details you want to change, you can change. Okay, so now you can, if you are okay with that, you can just directly you can click on create, or else you just directly you can click on create, or else whatever the you selected this requisition to document builder. If you have a plan of not creating now, you can say clear document builder. That means selected requisition will be removed from the document builder, so that you can create requisition. Now what you could do is you can say create, or else if you want to add some additional lines into this purchase order creation, that you can do. But now you can say create. Now system will create the purchase order against this requisition. So what are the approval rule we created? We'll go and verify. If somebody changed, disabled, or just somebody changed something, we have to verify. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll open another tab and we'll go and check the purchase order related approvals we have in the system. We'll check it. Whatever we created, whatever we selected, same remain as these, or somebody changed. We'll check it. So go to project. So just search with the term called as approvals. Yeah. So here we have, like, we are getting the task. So manage purchase document approvals. Go to this task. Manage purchase document approvals. Just click on go to task icon. So you can notice here somebody disabled our node. Okay, they enabled this different node. You can keep this as this, or else you may disable it. And this is the one which we created, right? Within this node we created rule, so that should be enabled, otherwise it will fail to root understand that approvals process and it will get rejected. You can enable this node and we'll go and verify which rule we created for purchase order. You can click on edit rule to verify the rule. Here this is the rule we created, cloud inc auto approval. What we written the condition, procurement BUs, if procurement BUs equal to cloud inc US business unit, that has to be, the document should be approved automatically. This is what we written. Say save and close, and you should deploy it because we did some changes. We just enabled this, that has to be updated by system. Say deploy. Say done. Now you can click on, so this is the purchase order. Purchase order number is 1. Okay, these are the details. You can see all these details, and you can see the line and schedules and distributions, all are created based on the requisition. Even you can see those accounts here. So if you go to actions, click on edit. Okay, you can see those accounts: PO charge account, PO accrual account, PO variance account. This system is taken from the PO tab, transaction accounting builder, right? We through that we specified all these accounts. System is deriving these accounts from there only. All these accounts. Okay, just say okay here. Just verify those accounts. Now we want to submit it for approval. Just click on submit, and before that you can just verify. Once you submit for approval, how it would be routed. Before submitting, if you want to check, you can check it just for preview purpose. Manage approvals. If you click on that, it shows who will be approved. System will be approving, or some user has to approve. That system will display if you click on manage approvals. Person means it will show person, otherwise already we have seen how it will display in case of system approvals. See, system is detecting that approval rule which you created. So application development framework, that approvals will pass through this in the sense auto approvals. Now you can directly submit from here, or else say cancel and go to that document. From document level you can submit for approval. Just click on submit. Now system will approve this purchase order which is created against that. The value of the attribute bill to location is not valid. Okay, bill to location is showing it's not valid. We'll change it. We'll go with the cloud inc. Fine. Submit. Submit for approval. So in case of EBS, once purchase order is approved, okay, once you submit for approval, so say it's approved. Now you can see the status as approved, but in the Fusion you don't see as a approved. For approved purchase orders, just they are displaying the status as open. If you see the PO status as open, that means that is approved. It is open to create the invoice. Okay, it is That is the meaning of it. Here you never see any purchase order status as a as approved. Even it is approved, once purchase order is approved, the system will display the status as open is equal to approved. That's how they are displayed. To see that, you can go to task list. We are under purchase orders, go to manage orders and provide our PO number. Our PO number is 1, right? 1, search. Now see the status open. Open means approved. You never see the status as approved. Okay, if it is not approved, it will be showing like other statuses. But approved POs, always you can see the status called as open. Okay, life cycle management means against this purchase order, material is received or not, invoice is created or not, all the information it will display. As of now, just we didn't create any uh, receipt and we didn't do any billing. See, fulfillment status pending fulfillment action. That means receiving material and placing in the inventory. Billing status open to invoice, 100% is pending. Okay, we didn't create. That is the meaning of it. This is how you can see the life cycle for this purchase order. So again, invoice is created or not, from here only you can find out. So status is open means approved. Now we'll go and create the receipt against this purchase order. Okay, we'll receive into inventory. You can try from navigator, or else you can click on home icon. So here you can find the task called as inventory management. Click on inventory management. So system is defaulting our inventory. Go to task list. Okay. Here show tasks. You select receipts. Okay. Select receipts. Now here you can create. You don't see directly any function which says create receipt. You see with this name, receive expected shipments. That means nothing but creating the receipt. Okay, receipt creation task, receive expected shipments. Through this task you can create the receipt. Okay, done. So now we'll go and create the receipt. Okay, so we have to go to task list. Here from the show task, this is a classification we have. Okay, depending on the inventory functionalities, inventory related transactions, the count, cycle counting, and many other functionalities, shipment related, picking, and the receipts. So select receipts. The receipt related task you can find here. And to create the receipt, so we create the receipt against the shipments, right? Once we receive the shipments, against that we will be creating it. So select the task, just click on the task called as receive expected shipments. You can find one expected shipment. So you can search with the purchase order. The purchase order number is 1. And click on search. So this is a shipment is available. So now you can say receive. And you want to, how much quantity you want to receive? Only one quantity we have as a part of that PO. We want to receive one quantity, and you want to take into the sub inventory. So here destination type is receiving. Okay, destination type is receiving. So since destination type is receiving means staging, you don't need to select any sub inventory, not mandatory. So when you just move the material into the actual inventory, in that case only we have to select it. Okay, anyway, destination type is receiving, no sub inventory is required. Then say create receipt. So create receipt and say submit here. Okay, done. System create a receipt, then click on submit. So now we received material into receiving. So receipt 2 was created. So we're given the receipt number should start from 1 in the receiving parameter, but the field name is starting number, but in reality it is taking that is user number. That is the reason here it is showing as 2. If you provide 0 over there, it will take the first receipt as a 1. Done. Okay, just click on done. We taken into staging, receiving. So now we have to move the material from staging to the targeted location. Okay, here you could see that shipment lines expected 1 to 3 days. How many receipt lines? We have only one, which we created just now. Okay, in case of inventory, if it is a standard receipt routing process, first we'll create the receiving transaction. We'll create receipt, then receiving transaction. Now whatever you create, that is equal to receipt. And in case of EBS, we'll create the receiving transaction equal to receiving transaction. Here we have a task called as put away receipts. Put away receipt is nothing but receiving transaction as per EBS. With the receiving transaction, we'll move the material from staging to inventory organization. The same you can perform by using the put away receipt. It's all about to move the material from the staging to the targeted inventory location. Okay, so under receipts, click on put away receipt, and the receipt number is 2. Search for it. This is the one. Select, say put away, move to inventory. So we given in the preferences itself sub inventory and all. That is the reason system is defaulting. Now destination type is inventory, sub inventory is this, and deliver to location is this. So everything is fine. Now you can say submit. Now this quantity, okay, quantity is only 1. This would get updated in the inventory. Now the point is we'll go and check the on hand quantity availability. It's in the inventory. Okay, here you can select inventory, show task. So manage item quantities. Select the task called as manage item quantities, and you can search. So this is our inventory organization. It should display only one quantity on hand. Even if you want to see which is in the receiving process, that also you can enable. So not required. Just click on search. You can find only one as a on hand quantity, which we received just now. One on hand is only one. Just now we received. You can expand that organization. So this item is part of this organization, and within this sub inventory we have this one on hand quantity availability. So this is how just we can create the requisition, we can convert into purchase order, and against that you can create the receipt and you can perform the receiving you can create the receipt and you can perform the receiving transaction. Receiving transaction only in Fusion we are calling as put away receipt, and finally you can check the on hand quantity availability. Now we'll just go to payables and we'll create invoice through matching. Okay, switch to payables. We'll just verify whether period is open or not for current month. So just go to task list, just go to manage accounting periods. We'll check what is the current period status. So Cloud INC US, this is our ledger. So July period status is future enterable. So just make it as open. That means we have to open GL period also. Switch to GL. Say done. Go to period close task and open GL period for current month. July month period status is future enterable. select. You can click on open period directly, or else you can go with action and you can say open period, or else you select open target period and you can select the same period. Okay, you can go with any one of the option. Say open period. So as we discussed in the previous sessions, we don't have any concept called as opening the periods for inventory and purchasing. So without doing those activities, you are able to create the receipt also after requisition purchase order. Done. So anyway, it will open. Now we'll switch to payables to create invoice through matching. Go to invoices. Say create invoice. So you can give the PO number here. The PO number is 1, right? You can give the PO number 1. To filter, you may enter the supplier number also, or else it will be showing other supplier related PO numbers also. So this is the PO. Against this PO, we want to create the invoice. Select it. Now system will default the BU and the supplier details. Okay, done. And invoice number and invoice amount, say 5,000. And to match this invoice with this PO details, what you have to do is you have to go with the match invoice lines. Okay, match invoice line. Just click on go. Invoice number already. Okay, this invoice number is already exist. Click on go. So based on that PO, what are the lines we have, system will display. The PO level, if you give the specification as a, so the three-way matching, then it will just ask us to provide the receipt information, okay, that you can provide. If it is, we have a receipt and all, that system will prompt us, you can provide the receipt information. Now just it's a matching with a two-way matching only got selected. So this is a quantity where it's available from the this PO, the same it is displaying. You may change based on for how much quantity you are creating the invoice. Then you can say apply and say okay. Now you can see the lines which are created for this invoice based on the PO. The lines are created. The rest of process remains same. You can validate and account it. So it's all about the matching we are able to create it. So rest of process anyway, we know we are done with the payables. So selecting this invoice for payment, accounting, etc. we know very well. So that's all about P2P cycle, which is a plant. It's all about the basic configuration and performing the transactions, including the approval. So invoice is validated. The rest of process we can proceed. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we can start with the receivables application. Okay. Tomorrow session we can start with AR. So any questions from today's session or previous classes, please? So already I shared the new instance credentials with everyone. Still, if anybody has any issues, you can email us so we can just work on it. Apart from that, any question from anyone?